Hi there everybody, Mars here, the golf professional at Southwark Park Golf Club. My first video of 2025 and it's going to be a product review. I don't do many product reviews through the year, but I think when something new and different comes out, it's probably well worth speaking about because I want you to try it and maybe it could really change your game. So Cobra have always been that manufacturer pitched slightly below the price of the TaylorMade Callaway Ping type people, so they've always sat slightly underneath but always have kept the same quality. So it's always a club worth considering because you're going to get a lot for your money. For example, this, well, let's talk about the club. This is the new Cobra Adapt. Bit of a rubbish name, understand why they've called it the Adapt, but anyway, so few things about it. It's really good looking, and when I say good looking, I mean as you put it down on the ground and have a look at it, to my eye, and that's the number one thing. You could say to me, well, it doesn't matter what it looks like, but you've got to look at that every time you sit it behind the ball and fancy that you're going to hit a good shot with it. So the aesthetics of it are very good. Ping-like is what I would say. Ping-like, sort of matte black. You can see a bit of the carbon fibre crown through that. When you see the TaylorMade later in the year, there's a lot more of the carbon fibre you can see. And there's a few, like Cobra always do, and I think they do one too many probably sometimes. They make 4 heads in this. There's a low spin head. These are all demos that I've got, by the way. So the low spin head's you're gonna have to really crunch the ball to make that work. You're gonna have to have huge club head speed. You're probably gonna be a guy that edges around the 300-yard drive to warrant a low spin head. Then there sits their K head or their X head, which is their standard head. That's the one a lot of people will probably be interested in. And then there's a draw head in this Max K. So Cobra now have come in line with Ping and TaylorMade to produce a 10K driver. So that means that's the maximum amount of forgiveness so far that they've managed to create. A lot of it looks like it's moving weight back to achieve that, so that's interesting. You'll notice on some of the other heads they don't have the large 10-gram weight towards the back. But why it's called Adapt and why it's quite interesting is this very clever fitting sleeve. And this does look very new. And people said to me, oh, it's going to be very complicated, but it's not as complicated as a Titleist or a Callaway head with the 2 little sleeves that you pull in and move about. This has a fixed position and a rotated position, and it's quite interesting. So here's the thing. I think the way to explain it, or the way I was trying to picture explaining it, is if you looked at a dartboard and all your shots went, I can't think of the numbers, to the 18, which is high right all the time. High right, high right, high right, 18, 18, 18. You go onto the fitting matrix, which is quite simple. You can look at it online or download it on your phone. There's even a little QR code in the hosel here, which you can download onto your phone. And it'll tell you where to move that high right position to bring it back to the bullseye, if that's your desired shot. And basically, it's as simple as you would go to the corresponding point the other side. So I'm not sure what that is around there. It's something like the 15, isn't it? Or 16, yeah. So that corresponding side, you'd move that to, let's say it was you were hitting at A5, you might move it round to G7. Well, I can't think that's right, but that's roughly what you do. So what most people are going to do, they're going to start trying the driver on A1, hit some balls, look at the ball flight, either in the simulator or just with your eye, and alter it. I've only had probably 3 or 4 hits with it quickly, just to get a feel of it. The other thing that I'm always impressed with, what Cobra do, they always put really good top end shafts in. So they've got these Denali shafts. There's quite a mixture of flexes and lofts and weights. So there's a 50-gram stiff. I think I've picked up a Denali Blue here, which is a 60-gram stiff. So I'm going to try both, 6.0 they call it. And I'm going to try both and see which is the better out of the two. They're both quite interesting. 5.5 is, I would call that firm quite often. So I think I'm going to probably want the slightly stiffer one, but I'm going to try it and hit a few. I'm just going to hit a few, see where they go, and see if I can alter the fitting matrix to get a little bit more out of it. I'm going to hit one shot, see where it goes, and let me play around for 10 minutes, and I'm going to come back and see if altering this loft sleeve and the shaft give me something better than, yeah. TaylorMade Tour Response balls, been playing them in the winter. It's a really good winter ball, you know, save having to splash out on a TP5. Good old simulator. I think I'd let it go to sleep a little bit. Let's see another one. That one bad, actually. It's definitely out the middle. Nice looking head though. I mean, that's the number one thing. You sit that down and think, I'm going to knock this down the fairway. You've probably got every chance. Come on, Simmy, don't let me down. Thank you. Got something. Pretty good. My power hitting days are over, but that's 270. And I've launched that at 17, so I'm going to have a play with my loft sleeve. I know that I need to launch it probably for me somewhere around 15. That 2 degrees might give me a bit more penetrating flight, but to be fair, I'd take that. So I'll be back in a bit and let me have a play. Well, it's really interesting, and I'm not sure if I'm going to really show you this correctly, but here's the little fitting sleeve that tells you exactly what's going on the sleeve. I just looked at the little matrix and it told me to set it to A2, which flattened the lie by something small, like a third of a degree, I think, and it brought it down by 0.7 of a degree of loft. I put the stiffer shaft in. Feels good to me. I feel like I've lost a little bit of distance, but so far, really, really straight. And like all of us, and you know, I'm no longer a machine, and I don't practice enough and play enough. But this thing looks super straight. The yardage doesn't change much. I've got a little bit more distance out of the tiny bit more distance out of the more flexible shaft, but you would. Most people would as well. But for me, I want to give that up for straightness. So so far, so good. And yeah, nice little straight draw pretty much all the time. And we'll give it a go, I think. Need to get in the gym, lose that bit of Christmas chub, and might do a bit better. So Cobra Adapt, definitely worth trying. Draw version head if you've got to fade all the time. But this 10K version looks like the one that most people should have a go with first. Have a little play with the fittings. Really straightforward, I promise you, because whatever you are, you almost go to the corresponding opposite point to get it right. And it only takes a few hits each time to sort of dial that in a bit. So yeah, Cobra Adapt, rubbish name, beautiful look, quality shaft, nice custom fit options. Very, very sellable. And it's going to be, I think, something like 60, 70, 80 pounds less than the new TaylorMade and Ping. So yeah, interesting. Top end club, not quite top end money. Definitely, definitely worth considering.